This is the US at night. Europe, Asia, Africa. This is energy poverty. 600 million Africans live without reliable electricity, and without power, there is no growth.
We don't have lights to cook, to eat, to read.
Light is no more luxury, it's a necessity.
Most countries accomplished this, but as we can see, almost all countries that haven't done so are in Africa. Without light, you can't even study at night, which probably is the only time a day if you have to work for getting food on the table during the day. And even where electricity exists, it's fragile. Power cuts happen on a regular basis. This is a huge barrier for building up industry, physical or digital. And when you search Africa's energy story online, the headlines aren't about opportunity, they are about failure. This is what you find when you search for energy in Africa. The big question is why? Africa is home to 60% of the best solar resources globally, yet only 1% installed solar PV capacity. Here's a stat that shows what's possible over there. 2005 in Kenya. Only 27% of people have a bank account. In 2007, Safaricom launches the M-Pesa. 1 year later, by 2008, almost 100% of adults are banked, which means they can receive and send money through their phone. In 1 year, they basically get financial services to a whole country. So the question is, can Africa leapfrog the fossil fuel age and build a solar-powered future like they did with phones and banking? To find out, we have to answer one big question. Who's going to turn this into that? Whoever is doing that will help to improve many people's lives. The lives of people with problems people in Western countries can't even fathom. This is exactly where EWIA comes in. And my favorite thing is they do all of this while making money themselves. So this means the more they help people, the more capital they have to help more people. They do this in such a way that they're actually building up local infrastructure. And this is important. They don't just give one-time bread to the people. They really build local teams, local infrastructure, and a sustainable way of generating electricity for companies, villages, and whomever is taking their services. To put that into perspective, over the last 5 years, they helped an incredible amount of people. They've built over 15 solar projects. They electrified 12 villages, and they built 85 mobile phone towers. And they did that in 4 different countries, and they provide employment to 76 people. Short disclaimer, I'm Andy. I'm sharing my personal journey in early stage investments, and everything what I'm saying here is, the kind of stuff that I find, and I'm happy that I have the opportunity to talk to so many great people. But please don't take anything what I'm saying as investment advice. Everything is my personal opinion and my findings, and you should definitely do your own research. Stock investment is risky. You can lose everything. And I do this video with the MK Investment Conference, and I'm compensated for that, not by the company itself, but I think you should still know that. And let's get back to the video. But how much impact can one single company actually have? Their goals are pretty clear. By 2030, they want to have invested around 65 million euros in projects, in electrification projects. With that, they want to reduce over 980,000 tons of CO2 and create over 200 additional local jobs, qualified jobs. And with that, they directly contribute to 7 of the SDG Sustainable Development Goals that we as a society, as the United Nations, set ourselves as the goal we want to provide to all humans. And they've already got more customers that they can take. But why is that? It's just simply because for their customers, it's just so profitable. Besides that, they're finally not affected by the power outages that much. They literally save tons of money. how much do I mean with tons of money? Let's dive into a case study of one project that they've done. So here's a nice example. They've built that here. So those are in total 234 modules. If they go with the 5 years fixed rate, they have a little investment in the beginning, but then they come into substantial savings. So totaling over 1 million over the lifetime. But what if the sun doesn't shine? So they also have big stacks of batteries there as the first line of backup. Then they still have access to the grid, and third option, they still have the diesel generators, but those are the ones that are most important to replace because they are so expensive. Ralph broke it down pretty well in our conversation how big those electricity prices actually are. I mean, in Germany we have high costs, really high costs that we shouldn't have, but those diesel generators, they're kind of next level.
Most of the companies have really a problem, especially the small and medium-sized companies, that we have, that they really have to pay a hell of money, 20 US dollar cents or 25 US dollar cents for energy.
That's even almost German prices.
Yeah, but it's even worse. It's even worse because you have a price increase each quarter of 1 or 2% sometimes. And what comes additionally on top, no company can really manage or run the company without a diesel generator, because you have always power cuts, or you have really serious energy deviations from the voltage. 1 kilowatt hour of a diesel generator costs you between 80 US dollar cents and $1.20 US dollar cents. $1.20. So when you see, you have, even if you have a grid connection, but you need, for example, 20 or 30% diesel generator because you have power cuts, then you have actually kilowatt hour prices of 40 cents in average or whatever.
Well, that you can't produce anything.
You have no chance with this, and there we come in with our solar as a service concept, where we really say, okay, it's an absolutely no-brainer to generate this energy with solar energy, with photovoltaics, and additionally, of course, with storage. And so we are absolutely competitive. So we can really, in a lifetime for 25 years, for example, a solar system runs for 25 years. It really means its average price of a kilowatt hour is 7 US dollar cents. And therefore, we always say it's absolutely no-brainer.
Yeah, here we can see those price differences. And in the graphic, we don't even have the real prices that people actually face that Ralph calculated for us. But solar is just 7 cents. I mean, that is amazing. So I really understand why he's always saying that solar and Africa is a no-brainer. That is really, really a fraction of the cost. So if you want to build infrastructure, if you want to build factories, there literally can't be any other way. So it's just possible because electricity from solar is really, really cheap there. What about the capital structure? So EWIA is funding this whole thing through different verticals. They have equity, as every company has, and through equity, investors can participate in all projects. But obviously you have the risks that you have with the typical equity investments, but you can also participate in project basis. So you can, for example, participate in the electrification of villages, or also the infrastructure part, the cellular towers. And then you have a different risk profile. That is just different from the equity basis. The best thing is for everybody that is investing on a project basis, I saw that CEI Africa is an investor in EWIA, and so they usually invest alongside crowdlenders. And how I personally understand their approach, they kind of amplify whatever you're investing. So actually every dollar, euro that you put in, I think they might put in more too. Let's go a bit deeper into the financials, how this looks out. I mean, we've seen the huge market, we've seen the big benefits for the companies, hospitals, villages, whomever that needs a certain amount of energy. Obviously, financial dynamics are important. Actually, they look pretty decent. So all the projects that they're doing, they're running profitably. And so EWIA itself, they're getting kind of 5-ish% return on all the capital that is in the projects, and those are financed with project financings. With the return on investment for EWIA for this is quite good. I'm not calculating in here the salaries of the 3 driving forces of this, so this might change if we get into like way higher volumes, but they just have like a 2% acquisition cost of products. So let's do that for a investment that would be 100,000. So that means we would pay 2,000 for acquiring that project, right? Then we get the 100K investment. This means they got 5K in cash flow, 5%, 100,000, 5K. This means they have a payback period of just half a year, which is amazing. And if we assume a lifetime value of just 7 years, that's 35,000. So actually the project acquisition cost compared to the lifetime value, that ratio is 17.5, which is very, very good. And this could actually be even longer if they get kind of like service contracts afterwards. This depends on the lifetime. So that's really, really solid. As I said, it might change if they get into like way bigger volumes that they're doing now, but for the next kind of steps, it's gonna probably stay like this. What about the economic milestones? So they really wanna get additional 3 million in external project financings done. So that is important. This would mean a total of 5.5 million invested. They are getting the typical rate of 10%, which basically everybody gets that is doing solar business. And with that, they would be in black numbers for that year. If they achieve that 10 million in total investment, with that the company is in black numbers without getting new projects on the way. So that is the next very, very important milestone. With that, they would have the 5% of 10 million, 500,000 in cash flow that they need for the whole costs. Let's look at the project pipeline. Obviously, this is important if they want to deploy that money, the 3 million in additional financing, and then another 7 for the economic milestones that we just discussed. The project pipeline for this. So in Cameroon, they're going to electrify 4 villages, which is each 400K. So that's 1.6 million. And in Ghana and Nigeria, they have projects that are worth 2 million in total. So I don't really worry about the supply side of the projects. They got enough on that side. Who are the people doing this? I mean, in my conversation, you're gonna see, you're seeing Ralph all the time. He's one of the driving forces. In total, there's 4 people in Germany and 70 plus people in all kind of different locations on the ground. The people are where the action is. This is local people, not some expats, like no overhead, no big overhead here in Germany or like any Western country, but really boots on the ground. And from the many projects that they've done so far, they proved that they are able to execute on it and they can get stuff done where the action is supposed to happen. So just some personal thoughts. I thought a lot how I should end my personal summary, and I kind of felt like I should end that with a quote of Horst Köhler, because it really made me think a lot, understanding what power cuts and all that kind of stuff actually means to economies. I really feel that kind of giving money to EWIA probably has better impact than a lot of NGOs. I mean, I get talked to every single day by I don't know how many. If they're able to help as a business, which is just way more sustainable, because there you get the money back and you can kind of like reinvest, and you don't give one-time bread, but you build infrastructure that is gonna give them bread, huge cost savings for a long time. Like, I mean, if you save the one business like 1 million in cost, for example, it's way better to do that with business than with kind of one-time payments. Like, this is my personal view on that. Yeah, so I thought like EWIA is one of the most sustainable ways to give a vote for humanity. Here's what Horst Köhler said. In my view, the humanity of our world can be measured against the fate of Africa. And I stress once again that it is a question of Europe's self-respect, especially with a view to our own principles and values, for us to play an honest and generous role in Africa.